Well, we'll move on to Monday Night Football. We've got the Falcons at the Eagles. We've all joked about, I think Fred in particular has joked about how loads of people hyped up the Falcons, including me. I know it's only one game, but do you see their chances? I referenced this because for anyone who saw the graphic that went up yesterday, we've all picked the Eagles to win tonight. So I guess what I'm asking is now that AJ Brown is out, does that make either of you change your opinion on potentially the Falcons being able to pull off an upset in this one? If not, then why still no?
Because the Eagles are better.
Who will step up for AJ
That's the
Brown,
end of the show. Thank you for watching the Fantastic podcast.
No, but I just look. I read that it's Nick Foles' retirement night this evening. I thought, oh great, I might not watch that. But I'm hoping, Captain Kirk and Bijan Lightyear rock up and turn the Eagles. I don't see it happening, but I feel like it's increased their chances, no?
I don't see it happening, but I tell you, I need Bijan Robinson to have the game of his life because I hate fantasy football with a burning, burning passion. And the only person that can get me back onto loving fantasy football is Bijan Robinson. If I saw him now, I would give him the Denzel Washington Remember the Titans speech. If you don't rush for 150 free touchdown, I'm going to break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts. I need him to have the game of his life. And that's the only real thing that I have riding on this game. Outside of that, I think the Eagles need to have a game where they really put their stamp on that we're going to be a Super Bowl contender. And I think it might be against this. It might be against the Falcons.
If they do it without AJ Brown as well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is going to be very different from the season opener against the Packers. Very, very different. I think the Packers have got a way more mobile quarterback. They've got sort of they've got not as good talent at the wide receiver position, but they've got so many of them. They've got a really good running back, and probably better O-line than the Falcons. I still think the Falcons can give them a good game, can give them a really good game because I think they've definitely got something about them. I know it is like impressed against the Steelers, but you've got them. The Steelers defense is that good, but the Eagles defense is also pretty good as well. I think the fans after that game against the Packers. It was a good game and obviously a good win, but the Packers were still in it for a fair amount of time. And I think the Eagles fans are really crying for a game that they just like completely kill off a team. And, like you said, they're at home. It's at Ling, first game at Ling. It's the Nick Foles retirement thing. It's got all the ingredients for the Eagles just going out there and just dominating the Falcons. But Bijan Robinson will rush for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Jalen Hurts will throw for 4 touchdowns, or to Devontae Smith.
Or 4 yards, more likely.
Yeah, maybe something of that ilk. It's going to be tough for AJ Brown, but I think this Eagles team, it's got all the makings for a big Eagles win.
Before I ask Adam about the Falcons defense, Sivas is laughing at your speech, Fred. He was inspired in the comments by your speech for Bijan. So hopefully that happens. I've got him in a couple of teams as well. But Adam, I feel like I know everyone says about, it was only the Steelers and Justin Fields didn't throw a touchdown. But I think the Falcons defense is probably bang in the middle in the league, Probably like a 15th, 16th. Like they got a chance to cause the Eagles some sort of problems. They're not going to get completely dismantled.
No, I don't think it'll be a blowout or anything like that. I think they'll probably show that they are. I think they'll do better against this Eagles defense than they did against the Steelers defense in week 1. I think that although there's very little that you can take from that first game in Brazil, because the field was, as we know, a complete joke and everyone was skating around on it. I think that you could still see that you could sort of like still score on the Eagles. The corners they're not quite up to speed yet, and I think that will take time for the Eagles. I think second half of the season, I think you might be a completely different ball game there. But I think at the moment you can still score on them, and it's really going to be about Kirk Cousins being able to bring in Kyle Pitts and Drake London and getting these weapons involved a bit more and throwing the ball and to a certain degree being allowed to throw the ball a bit more. I kind of felt like against the Steelers, he was kind of almost held back a bit, and it was about trying to go for the run game with Bijan, and
he was under duress the whole game. Like
I
he
mean
was
that's the issue, isn't it? But you get your receivers out quick, get them in space quick. I mean that's what you've got to do, and you've got to sort of like, you know, I know Drake London's kind of like a big wide receiver down the outside, but move him around, move Kyle Pitts around, get him in the slot and stuff like that. Just try anything to kind of get these guys who have shown that they're pretty talented, get them involved and do more with that. And I think that's the real issue. It's kind of almost like maybe a slightly different game plan needs to be had. So yeah, I think if they do that, then they will cause trouble for the Eagles. But I would be surprised if they could go away and cause an upset here, because I just think even without AJ Brown, I think the Eagles with the likes of Saquon Barkley and Devonta Smith, and you know even Jahan Dotson's going to get him. You would think get involved tonight as well. Yeah. They've got so many weapons, even without AJ Brown. So I think that they'll be fine.
The Falcons' game plan needs to be 1st and 10, run the ball. 2nd and 8, run the ball. 3rd and 5, run the ball. Third, just do that over and over again all night. That's completely how to beat the Eagles. It's just put it in the hands of Bijan Robinson, and it'll be fine.
I have to admit that when I saw AJ Brown was out, I mean, I know Kirk Cousins has got 12-20 record in primetime football, but there was a game early last year against the Eagles where they only lost like 34-28, and Kirk Cousins had 4 touchdowns. Obviously, when he was on the Vikings, and I feel like
was that at Minnesota though? Was that?
I can't remember. I can't. I just remember it being one
totally different, because it is totally different. Yeah, going to Philly now. Philly's not quite cold enough yet, but that atmosphere, like that is the most hot. Probably the hot. I feel like
it was in Philly, because I remember picking the Vikings and Gareth laughing at me and it actually being a close game. And from what I'm googling here, the Eagles are in green and the Vikings are in white, so it looks like it was at the link. Okay, I think they've got the weapons to cause them problems. Look, I'm not going to go change my pick now, but I think that as soon as I saw AJ Brown, look, there's not a dig on Jalen Hurts again, but he did have some costly turnovers last week. They could have easily lost that game in Brazil. Like, he didn't look after the ball in the way that probably the Eagles need him to. And this is no disrespect to the Packers, because I think they are a really good team, but I think a better team, I mean, more of the sense of, if that's a week 15 game and everything's firing on all cylinders, a better team would have put them away and punished them for those turnovers.
That's maybe a little bit of a thing, is we're saying about, you know, protecting the ball and maybe being a bit more mindful of himself, Jalen Hurts. But the first game at the Link, first game in the set, like, I think they're not going to err on the side of caution, are they? They're going to want their fans to be raucous and have something to cheer about. So I don't see this as being a game that's going to advertise Jalen of being really secure with the ball. It wouldn't shock me if Terrell gets a pick, like, because I think he may just make 1 or 2 more risks. I don't know. I mean, Jesse Bates was really great for the Falcons the other day as well. I mean, what pickup he's been for them, and Justin Simmons, to be fair. I just think it's this Falcons team. I'm just not confident in going to somewhere like Philadelphia.
You've got to see more from them.
We've got to see more from them. They've got. We said this at the start of the season, didn't we? There's a lot of names on paper. We need to see a bit more from this team at the point. But their defense was pretty. The defense was good against the Steelers, though. But with the Steelers' offense, is not the Philadelphia Eagles' offense by no stretch of the imagination. So, and they didn't get a touchdown scored on them in that game, I suppose, either. So, we've got to take some positives from it. I imagine they're just not very good.
I was just saying, we'll do the rounds, because to summarize last week, I was wrong about the Jets, but that's fine. You guys obviously were both right with the 49ers. I'm not going to switch. We'll all say the Eagles, but scoreline wise, what will you two go for? I'm sure Adam's going to throw an over-under in there.
I'm not, because I don't know what the over-under is.
Good. I'll get your true opinion. You're not guided by the over-under.
27-17.
Eagles, obviously.
Sorry. Well, I thought that was a given. I apologise.
I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go. I was going to go 30s. I think I might go
Wow.
30. I think I might go 33-20.
I'm going to say 24-20, but still say
You're
Eagles.
keeping
But
it low.
yeah, I think so. I think again, given the weekend that's happened, I don't see there being another upset as much as I could make.
Do you want to know what the over-under is?
Yeah.
42.5?
45.5.
Okay.
So I'll
Okay.
take 27-17. That's about right.
You've done well there.
No, I know.
Thank you, guys. We've done our over under. Appreciate all the picks as always. I guess just to sort of summarize what's going on throughout the week, Fred will be around tomorrow for the chat show, so please tune into that. Always great to go through the NFL's hottest topics, and Vass has even said that our show needs to be on TV, Fred. So we do need your beautiful face on TV. So everyone join tomorrow to see that, and then also on Wednesday I'll be around to preview my actual team, the New England Patriots, with Shane Brennan, who will be joining as part of the Irish NFL show. And we've also got another friend of ours, Will Varney from TalkSport, joining to talk his Jets up. So yeah, it'll be the battle of the AFC East, guys, and I'm sure we'll cover that off in next week's show too. But yeah, thank you for your time. Enjoy the game, even though I know you're both not going to stay up, and we'll see you next time.